Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Stoveside Chats. My name is Chad Blackwelder with the North Carolina Department of Agriculture. Thank you for joining us today. We've got a good interview today. Actually, this is the first time I'll be interviewing two people, the owners of Sweet Potatoes Restaurant in Winston-Salem. So just wait for them to join us and we'll get it started. Next week, we'll have Sam Sukoff on with Lady Edison Ham, and he also owns the Pig Restaurant in Chapel Hill, so that should be a good conversation. Poppy's Foods, thank you for joining in and waving. And then after that, we're going to do a follow-up interview with Chef Ricky Moore of Saltbox. Still a lot of questions that I wanted to ask him, so that should be a lot of fun. Just R00, thank you for joining us, and HC Wright, thank you for joining us. All right, there's Sweet Potatoes. Thank you, Laughing Spell, for joining us. All right, we're waiting on Sweet Potatoes. Looks like they're buffering in. So Sam Sukoff next week, and then again, we're going to follow up with Ricky Moore the week after that. And then the last Wednesday in December, my good friend Heidi Bellato is going to be interviewing me. So I've had a few requests for that, so we're gonna make that happen. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Samantha Coleman, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Good afternoon, ladies.
Hi. Hey. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I hope you are.
Yeah, we are. Thank you.
Can you guys hear me okay?
We can.
Okay.
Trying to get both of us in the video.
Yeah. I can't really hear you that well. Is there any way that you can bring the your
Yeah, let's see.
whatever apparatus you're using, bring it a little bit closer, see if we can. Carly Poole, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Okay. How about there? Testing two.
That's better. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And I was saying this to our guests last week, oftentimes I can't really hear that well, but when I go back and watch the video, the audio is fine, so it's probably not going to be an issue. So joining me today are the owners of Sweet Potatoes, Shut Your Mouth, a restaurant in Winston-Salem, Vivian Joyner and Chef Stephanie Tyson. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Now tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you guys met and got started, and what led you back to Winston-Salem.
Well, Vivian and I met in Washington, D.C., and I'm originally from Winston-Salem, and I've been like traveling around for a long time, and we've been traveling. We've been together for 34 years. And so we moved back to Winston-Salem about almost 20 years ago. For me, it was time for me to come home to, my parents are getting older, and I just need to take care of them or be near them so that I can eventually take care of them. And eventually about a year after we'd been here, we decided to open a restaurant. It was just, we've both been working for restaurants, and we both had a hard time. You hit that glass ceiling, and you just decide to go out on your own to see, the only thing you do is fail. Already in debt, might as well be in more debt, you know. So we figured, we opened Sweet Potatoes 17 years.
It'll be 18 years in January that we opened Sweet Potatoes. And then we opened Dora's Kitchen 3.5 years ago. So yeah, we've been on this food road for a long time.
Yeah. So
That's really neat. Now, and you said you guys met in Washington, D.C., is that correct?
Yeah.
Vivian is originally
I'm
from DC.
originally from D.C., and we were both working, hanging out in D.C. for a while, and we stayed there for a few years, and then we traveled around. We hit a lot of places in the country.
Yeah, we did.
And then we finally settled here in Winston-Salem.
That's really neat that you can take all that experience from traveling and bring it back and use all those influences to create a great restaurant, which you guys have. Now tell us about Sweet Potatoes and also about Miss Orr's and how they kind of work together.
So Sweet Potatoes is full service, Southern, it does actually have a lot of my travel influence and culinary influence in the menu, but the feel, Vivian has created a feel of Southern hospitality, even though she's from DC and that's not really the South. But she's created this feel of hospitality, and from that, and it's like if you equate things with music, which I do. Sweet Potatoes is hot jazz, and Miss Orr's Kitchen, which we opened like 3.5 years ago, would be like Motown. It's more upbeat, and it's kind of like based on my grandmother is Miss Orra Porter, and she didn't read or write, but she was the best cook I've ever known, and she fried the best chicken, and that is what is the basis of Miss Orr's Kitchen. It's kind of like walking into somebody's kitchen. There's a refrigerator. You watch us fry chicken. It's pan-fried chicken. So you talk to people while they're frying chicken, and we fry it with fatback, just like she did. So if you don't eat pork, so it's remnants of a kitchen, of your grandmother's kitchen. And unfortunately, we had to shut her down. So what we're doing now is, because they're next door to each other. So what we're doing is we're running Miss Orr's Kitchen out of Sweet Potatoes. So you still get that same pan-fried chicken and the sides that go with it, like potato salad, banana pudding, pinto beans, but we all do it from one kitchen because it saves us money and labor to do it that way.
So what Stephanie did was to kind of modify, and I think a lot of restaurateurs and a lot of chefs out there, they've been on a continuous cycle of writing menus for the last 6 or 8 months. And so right now, Stephanie modified our Sweet Potatoes menu to reduce it so that it can accommodate Miss Orr's Kitchen, and we can do both out of the same. This thing called COVID-19 has put us all on a vicious cycle of, I feel like I'm on a hamster wheel, but I'm going backwards, and it's a scary time right now.
Yeah, but we managed to survive though, so that's the important thing, and we're learning a lot from it. If nothing else,
yeah, you're right. There hasn't been. Yeah, and I think that's really smart how you guys have kind of consolidated and kind of combined resources in one spot. And definitely consolidating the menu from the sweet potato side makes a lot of sense. And it's cool that you guys can still provide what people love at Miss Orr's. It's kind of like having a perpetual pop-up, I guess. That's sweet potato. Yeah, very, very, very smart. So I was looking over your Facebook feed, and I saw some really cool stuff you guys are doing. And one of those things was a pork chop sandwich with peanut butter and banana aioli. Was that right?
Yeah. Yeah. Really good.
And tomato jam.
Yeah.
That sounds delicious.
It's good.
I'm a big fan of Elvis. So
I really wish you wouldn't say that out publicly. I really do.
But it's an ode to him in a way, as far as I'm concerned, because he loved peanut butter and banana sandwiches. So, and who doesn't like a little bit of bacon? So you got the best of both worlds.
It's a good sandwich.
Now you guys are in the art district in Winston-Salem, correct?
Yeah.
And I guess you guys have been there for 18 years, so you guys have really kind of helped sort of pioneer that and really advocate for that area a lot.
Yes. So we've been here. We were the first restaurant in this neighborhood, and we've seen a lot of growth, and it's been a really cool kind of growth. It's still artsy, it's still homegrown, it's still familiar. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel pushed or pressed in, and so that's a great thing. Yeah. We really love where we are and what we do. I think maybe you can tell by our passion about just Stephanie describing what Sweet Potatoes is, and and what Miss Ora's Kitchen and the pan-fried chicken. It's what we do. It's our heart. It is in our blood, and it's what we love.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it definitely, just hearing you guys talk about what you guys are doing there, definitely, you guys exude that. So that's really, really cool. Now, Stephanie, I know you've written a couple of cookbooks, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the name. Was it a Soul Food Odyssey? Was that the first one?
It was the second one, and Sweet Potatoes, well, Shut My Mouth, Sweet Potatoes Restaurant Cookbook was the first one. Was that 2011?
2011 was the first one, and that's the kind of just tells a little bit
about how we started, and some recipes from the menu. And a couple years later, I did Soul Food Odyssey, which is, well, people call us a soul food restaurant, and I never actually thought of us as being a soul food restaurant per se. I didn't really know what that meant. So the second book was kind of a short exploration into what soul food means to people, or what my interpretation of soul food is. So it's got a little bit more basic recipes that everybody's familiar with, but you kind of, it's like, some people like really need to have a recipe for things. So I like that book, and I learned a lot from doing it. I mean, I actually learned how to make chitlins, which I never did. It's not my favorite thing, but I learned. So it was kind of a real neat experience of learning and talking to people, because everybody has a story about food. So I'm actually working on another cookbook right now. So this is an interesting time to be in the restaurant business, and to try to be about food while hiding, basically. So it should be kind of an interesting cookbook, I think, or book with food in it.
Yeah. Now, you guys have been featured, your recipes, and you guys have been featured a lot. I mean, the New York Times featured your cornbread, and you guys have been in Our State and Southern Living. Sweet potato pudding has been on the Food Network. That's a lot of really cool recognition. What out of all those, and even local accolades, has meant the most to you guys?
People coming back to eat at the restaurant. The people that, I mean, and all that stuff is great. I mean, it really is. I mean, the Food Network thing was really cool.
That was a lot of fun.
It was fun. But when you see the same people coming back to eat at your restaurant, that is the best kind of accolade, I think. It's when people enjoy what you do. You can't buy that. So, I mean, we're really happy with being where we are, and having people like what we do.
Yeah, no, that's the most important thing, is having folks coming in and keeping them happy. And I know that means a lot to you both. And you guys have I know you haven't been able to use it in a while, but you guys have a communal table in the restaurant, right?
Yeah. So we have this large communal table. Our local artists built it for us when we reopened Sweet Potatoes when we moved about 4 years ago, and it is has been for a long time. It's been a real important part of what we do, because it's kind of it's the epitome of how we feed. Mm-hmm. It is shared food. It's a shared experience. It's why people go out. Otherwise you just stay at home. Get it out of a bag and just stay at home, but people go out for that shared experience. And we had a community table before we moved into our largest space 4 years ago, and it was just really popular, and we were able to have a larger space and move into it, and had this community table built. Seats 10, and people just they sit as strangers and walk away as family. Yeah, and that's the way food should do for our country and for our nation, for the world, really.
Up until 6 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have too. Seems like the common denominators are kind of falling to the side, but food is definitely one that definitely brings people together. I think we'll continue, to do that moving forward. And We appreciate what y'all are doing there at Sweet Potatoes, and I know that you guys use a lot of local stuff, and I know how important that is to you. And from the Department of Agriculture, we say thank you very much for being a part of that. And thank you for coming on the show today. I know that you guys are busy, and you guys make sure you check out Sweet Potatoes Restaurant in Winston-Salem. Follow them on Facebook and keep up with what they're doing. And anything you guys want to add?
We just want to say thank you to you for inviting us on, and to the community, wherever this is viewed. Support your local restaurants, support your local retailers, whatever it is that's local, support them, and
stay safe.
Stay safe. We'll see you on the other side. Thank you.
Those are very, very wise words. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that was cool. Yeah, you guys definitely go check out Sweet Potatoes Restaurant in Winston-Salem. Again, they're doing the food for Miss Orr's, which is next door. Great fried chicken and really good soul food. That was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for joining. Skeeter Sawyer, thank you for joining. Culinary Adams 95, thank you. QDOT 2009. I wonder if I can scroll back. Yeah, I can. Cool. Lots of people joined in Wave. Wow, the Conscious Cultivator. Whew, got it out. Thank you for joining us. All right, guys. Next week, Sam Sukoff from The Pig in Chapel Hill, and he also owns Lady Edison Hams. They're making incredible hams. I mean, restaurants in New York are using their hams. Some of the best hams in the world, I would say. So tune in for that. That should be a good conversation, and we'll